Here is the first way. Play closed positions. In the closed positions, there are no possibilities for direct attacking moves. Usually there are no tactical tricks. Here both players need to show their positional understanding, and that's exactly what we're looking for. Here is the first example: e4, e6, d4, d5. A French defense leads to the closed positions with pawn chains in the center. After that, both players will need to find the right setup for his pieces and to compose the right plan. It's difficult to use any tactical tricks here at the early stage of game, and White doesn't have any direct attacking moves here. And that's why such situation will be unpleasant for a attacker player. a6, a3. I know that a3 is a theoretical move, and it was played many times already, but nevertheless, you see that this move doesn't do much. In an opening we should develop pieces, while the idea of the move a3 is not so clear. You may wonder, but what about the black's move a6? There is a huge difference here. In the French defense, black is going to attack on the queen side, and for this purpose he will play a6 and b5 and will develop his attack there. Therefore, the black's move a6 helps black to realize his plan, while the white's move a3 is pretty useless actually. Okay, let's move on. Black took, then bishop c5. Here white played g3. Okay, white decided to develop his bishop on the g2 probably. Then I have a question. Where is the most active position of this bishop? On this diagonal f1 a6 or on the diagonal g2 e4? Well, I guess that on the initial position the bishop has more active position. On the g2 the bishop's activity will be restricted by the black central pawn chain. And also it's hard to realize the logic between the moves a3 and g3. You see, white has a hard time of finding the right setup for his pieces, which is typical for tactical attacker players. Okay, let's see what happened then. Queen b6, taking the knight, knight e4, knight c3, queen c7. Here white played knight e2. Well, again this move looks a bit strange, so okay, if white played g3 on the previous move, now it would be more logical to play bishop g2 here instead of knight e2, and then make castling and finally finish development. I know knight e2 overprotecting the d4 knight, but okay, it is not so crucial for white right now. So knight e2 is quite a bit logical, but nevertheless, why not to care about the all other pieces which are still standing on the first rank? Black made castling, bishop g2. Now after an exchange, black plays knight b6, aiming to the c4 square. Now white can feel the lack of a bishop on the right diagonal f1 a6, and he has to play b3, weakening his position even more. And now black can use the white's undeveloped position, making a breakthrough in the center. After f6, then e5, white has to take. Now queen takes e5, this is the forced inversion. Now the e3 bishop being attacked, so queen d2 and rook takes f6. Now white has to pay for all his previous mistakes. Black is controlling the f-file, that's why white cannot make short castling. The long castling is also unavailable because black will capture the a3 pawn. By the way, you remember that white played a3 by himself, and this move was totally useless for him during the whole game, and right now it only creates problems for white. At the same time, the black's plan is pretty obvious. Black will play bishop g4, then rook e8, and will simply mate the white's king or will win a lot of material on the e-file. Although the white player is a grandmaster, you can see that strategical problems were too difficult for him. He wasn't able to create a right setup of the pieces, to compose the right plan, and lost the game pretty easily.